take this stuff over there, I'll forget something and I'll take it home.
Welcome everyone to Evensong, which may become a tradition, but started because David and I were looking through the hymnal and we kept noticing how many good hymns there are for the evening that don't seem like they'd be appropriate to sing on Sunday morning. So we thought during this dark time of year we'd create a musical experience where we could use some of those hymns. So without further ado, I welcome you to Evensong. O God of many moments, of night gliding into day, and day seeping into night, of infant milky sleeping breaths, and wrinkled, crinkled, aging eyes, of the starting beauty of sunlight gazed upon a tree, and mournful moonlit vistas call us from days of doing into instances of being. Remind us of the certainty of love and the neighborhood of grace, which binds us to each other each and every night and each and every day. Come, let us worship together. Let's join together in our first hymn, 46, in the gray hymnal. You can remain seated. Now the day is over.
celebrating the darkness. Traditionally, Advent is a time of searching for light in the dark. The pagan tradition of Yule is a celebration of the return of the sun. But darkness is as important as light. The cold dark of winter is as important to life as the bright warmth of summer. Darkness is home to entire ecosystems, places where humans cannot survive. Darkness offers us the gift of rest, healing, and hope. It is in the darkness of sleep that our bodies are able to heal and rejuvenate. Darkness offers opportunities for beauty and love to live in our lives. Conception begins in the dark womb. A great prophet was born at night, and the vastness of the universe can only be seen on the darkest of nights. So on this long night, let us welcome the night. Let us give thanks for the life, rest, healing, hope, love, and beauty that are offered to us only in the darkness. Come, beautiful souls, and let us worship as we embrace the darkness together.
We'll sing hymn 55 in your gray hymnal.
I'm not Linda Hott. I'm Crystal Bradshaw. Open to the blessed darkness. In the quiet of these moments, let us take a common breath, unclench, and open to each other the Holy One we call by many names. We arrive in these moments bearing the whole of our lives. We bring with us the worries and troubles of our days, sometimes overwhelming, lost beyond words, pain and struggle known only in the deepest place in our hearts. Here in the quiet, joined with each other, may we release our hearts from them and find a moment of peace. We come to these moments with the freshness of love, the grace of small treasures, with hope and faith, knowing well the promise of the dawning day, even in the longest of nights. Here in the quiet, may we fill up our hearts in gratitude for the gifts of our lives, pausing in thanksgiving. It is written that to everything there is a season, and in our hearts we know that it is true. As the earth spirals towards the solstice, let us open to the blessed darkness, praising renewal that comes as the light slowly returns.
Meister Eckhart once said, "There's nothing so much like God as stillness." So let's take a moment for stillness and quiet on this cold, dark winter night. Amen.
A blessing of darkness and light. Blessed is the dark in which our dreams stir and are revealed. Blessed is the dark of earth, where seeds come to life. Blessed are the depths of the ocean where light shimmers, the womb of all earthly life. Blessed is the light into which we awake, the light that sparkles on the waters, that calls the tree forth from the seed and calls the shadow forth from the tree. Blessed are we as we move through darkness and through light.
Let us join together in hymn 48 in the gray hymnal again as the evening shadows fall.
light and dark, blackmail, blacklist, black mark, black Monday, black mood, black-hearted, black plague, black mass, black market. Good guys wear white, bad guys wear black. We fear black cats and the dark continent. But it's okay to tell a white lie. Lily white hands are coveted. It's great to be pure as the driven snow. Angels and brides wear white. Devil's food cake is chocolate. Angel's food cake is white. We shape language and we are shaped by it. In our culture, white is esteemed. It's heavenly, sunlight, clear, pure, immaculate, innocent, and beautiful. At the same time, black is evil, wicked, gloomy, depressing, angry, sullen. Ascribing negative and positive values to black and white enhances the institutionalization of this culture's racism. Let us acknowledge the negative connotations of whiteness. White things can be soft, vulnerable, pallid, ashen. Light can be blinding, bleaching, enervating. Conversely, we must acknowledge that darkness has a redemptive character, that in darkness there is power and beauty. The dark nurtured and protected us before our birth. Welcome, darkness. Don't be afraid of it or deny it. Darkness brings relief from the blinding sun, from scorching heat, from exhausting labor. Night signals permission to rest, to be with our loved ones, to conceive new life, to search our hearts, to remember our dreams. The dark of winter is a time of hibernation. Seeds grow in the dark, fertile earth. The words black and dark don't need to be destroyed or ignored, only balanced and reclaimed in their wholeness. The words white and light don't need to be destroyed or ignored, only balanced and reclaimed in their wholeness. Imagine a world that had only light or dark. We need them both, dark and light, light and dark.
Let's join together in hymn 1055 in the teal hymnal, How Sweet the Darkness.
Our
The tendency to associate darkness with bad things is very common. And indeed, there's some scientific evidence that this time of year, when the days are shorter and the nights are longer, affect our mental health. Psychologists have identified a condition called seasonal affective disorder, SAD, or SAD. And some of the symptoms of seasonal affective disorder include feeling depressed, sadness, reduced energy, loss of concentration, reduced interest in activities, feeling worthless, feeling hopeless, trouble sleeping, weight loss or weight gain, and even self-destructive thoughts. So this may be at the root of associating darkness with things that are bad. And there's a Jewish story that illustrates that tendency to do that, to use darkness as a metaphor for everything, like war or poverty or all the bad things. And the story is that a rabbi was approached by his students and said, "What can we do about all the darkness in the world?" And the rabbi says to the students, "I want you to go down in the basement, shut the door, and go down in the basement where it's very dark. And I want you to shout out the darkness." And so they go down the stairs and they shout out the darkness, but it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So they come up and they say, "We tried that, it didn't work." And so the rabbi says, "Go take a broom and try to sweep out the darkness." So they go down in the basement and they try to sweep out the darkness, but that also doesn't work. And they go back, and this time the rabbi says, "I want you to take a big club and I want you to go down there and try to beat out the darkness." And they go down with big clubs, and after several accidents, where they couldn't see exactly where they were swinging, they came up and they decided beating out the darkness didn't work. So lastly he says, "Well, I want you to take a candle. Each one of you take a candle, go down into the basement and light a candle." And so they went down in the basement, big group of students. They lit a candle and everything was illuminated and the darkness was gone. I've always loved that story, but Jackie James, who wrote that reading, which Ruth Horton read, Light and Dark, she edited a book I wrote, and she educated me about looking beyond light as good and darkness as bad. And it seems that the rabbi left out one of the possibilities, because one of the possibilities might have been to go down the stairs and sit down and appreciate the darkness. Appreciate the darkness. Now, I remember when our congregation used to take retreats at Pickett State Park, which is an internationally recognized dark sky area. And it made me realize how much you can see in the dark, because we would go out to the field and we'd have blankets and tarps and we'd sit on them, and you might not be able to see the person sitting next to you, but you could see stars from horizon to horizon. And you could even see the twinkling of stars in between the limbs of the trees at the edge of the field. And it makes you realize just how vast the universe is. And I think one of the sources of our depression is during this time of year, we tend to go into our warrens and go into our holes, and sometimes when we isolate, our individual problems seem bigger. They seem larger than ourselves. And yet, to sit in a field in the dark is to feel part and parcel of something much bigger than ourselves, something much larger. I've always been moved by Stephen Hawking and his approach to life and suffering from Lou Gehrig's disease, where he had to spend most of his life in a wheelchair, and his only way of communicating with people was through a computer program. And yet when people asked him, how he got through that suffering, how he got through that pain, he said, "Don't look at your feet, look up at the stars. Don't look at your feet, look up at the stars." Well, this is my first day back at work from a 7-day isolation from COVID. Don't worry, I tested negative this morning. But during that 7 days, in a room upstairs, my wife is immunocompromised, so we had to be very careful, and I stayed upstairs, and I had a bathroom close by, just not to spread the germs any further. So living in a room. For 7 days, I found the night more comforting than the day, darkness more comforting than the light. And I think maybe that there may be some part of us that remembers the darkness of the womb before we were rudely and painfully introduced into this world. There's a part of us that knows that darkness is where we came from. Darkness is where we came from. Darkness nurtures life. The life in the womb, the seeds in the ground. On some level, darkness is our original home. Earlier, we heard the music of Samuel Barber, who composed a song and set them to the words of James Agee, who grew up in the Fort Sanders neighborhood not too far from here. His childhood home, unfortunately, bulldozed in the name of progress. But it's he writes lovely words about the night. And he was writing about summer nights in Knoxville, but they apply to winter as well. As Barber chose the words, "Sure on this shining night of star-made shadows round, kindness must watch for me this side of the ground. The late year lies down the north, all is healed, all is health. High summer holds the earth, hearts all whole. Sure on this shining night, I weep for wonder, wandering far alone, of shadows on the stars." And so tonight, we gather for Evensong. We come out of our warrens, we come out of our holes to be in community together, to celebrate the darkness, to taste the sweetness of darkness, to embrace the blessings of darkness, to know that tonight it is not our job to sweep out the darkness or shout out the darkness or beat out the darkness. Tonight we have only one responsibility. We have only one role: appreciate the darkness. I invite you to join with me in our closing hymn, 50, in the gray hymnal, "When Darkness Nears." O God of many moments, of night gliding into day, and day seeping into night, of infant milky sleeping breasts, and wrinkled, crinkled, aging eyes, of the startling beauty of sunlight gazed upon a tree, and mournful moonlit vistas, call us from days of doing into instances of being. Remind us of the certainty of love and the neighborhood of grace, which bind us to each other each and every night and each and every day. Go in peace.